A pleasant day to all of you. Today we are going to learn chapter 9 of the English textbook of Karnataka State, Consumerist Culture. Before going deep into the lesson, let us understand what is consumerist culture, consumer and a customer. We everyday go to shop or we browse online to buy something. But everything that we buy need not be consumed. For example, we invest on property, we invest on, future education, we invest on so many schemes that we buy. But we don't consume them for producing energy for our survival. Such products, when we buy, we are called customers. We just enter the shop and we buy things what we need. For example, future planning and investment. But when it comes to a consumer, we buy things necessarily for consuming to produce energy. For example, food items, some gadgets, we consume them. We use them for our daily life. We spend a lot of energy by using them. So that is called a consumer. And what is consumerism or consumerist culture is the art of proper consumption of what we buy. It can be food, it can be our LPG gas cylinder, it can be the electricity. We need to know how to consume them properly. That is an art and that is called consumerist culture. 2 months ago, I came across an advertisement put out by a push shopping mall for bargaining shoppers. In a band at the top of the ad were the words, "Shop till you drop." I couldn't help noticing what an apt and ironic summing up this was of the media driven mania of mindless consumption that characterizes our lives in these daring years of the globalized 21st century. So, this particular lesson has been written by Cherian Alexander, who is an American, and he is telling us that you see, our 21st century today has become a consuming age. You know, hardly we pay attention over conservation of resources. It can be water, it can be air, it can be our electricity. Correct? After government made compulsory for rainwater harvesting should be conservation, only then people are showing interest. Otherwise, most of our water is being wasted. So we consume but we don't conserve. So that is what the author is trying to, he's saying this an ironic thing, Shop till you drop. You know what is the meaning of this word? Shop till you drop. It means that you should keep shopping until you become bankrupt. That is what the shop was putting on its board. Drop in the sense to become bankrupt and you don't have any money. Till then you have to shop. What type of signs are we following, isn't it? Never before in human society have people all over the world bought and consumed such a bewilderingly diverse array things on such a vast scale. Never was it happening in the history. Of course, trade was happening, but not at this level, where every money that came was just being thrown into the markets for buying some or the other thing. It may be short term products or long term use products. We just keep buying like, mindless people. And the surprising thing is that most of the merchandise is absolutely unessential to human health and happiness. 90% of the things that we buy don't even have monetary value, they don't even have utility value, they don't even have happiness value. We just keep buying things, we go to the market, we see something attractive and we start buying it without even realizing whether we really need it for a long term or a short term or not. Just 100 years ago, our ancestors would have found it hard to believe that artificially colored and flavored sweetened water would be sold in billions of plastic bottles and aluminum cans as a thirst quenching drink. Now, the author is trying to say that, we find advertisements in TV like Bisleri, Rail Neer. You would have seen, right? The plastic bottles, they have a covering. Bisleri, 100% pure. This water brand, 100% pure. And they call it as mineral water. Now, what is this basically mineral water all about? Artificially flavored water. The water that we drink in a house and the water that we take in the plastic bottles, there's a lot of difference in the taste. There's a lot of distance and difference in the characteristics, chemical composition. So which ancestor thought about this? That artificially these humans will create water with chemical composition and sell it in the public places. Nobody would have thought of it. Imagine their shock if they had been told that this drink has absolutely no nutritional value, but rather has a damaged effect on the digestive system and the bones. The normal water that we drink in our house is rich in calcium, it is rich in potassium, it is rich in sodium, and you have many salts in it that are indeed required for our digestive system. But the water that we're getting outside is deficit of any of nutrition value. Now, as according to him, as scientific research has said that this water what we are getting from outside is damaging our bones and digestive system. How shocking it would have been for our ancestors, right? And yet, Pepsi and Coca-Cola are sold in the remotest nook and corner of the world today. Not only in India, we find Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Kingfisher everywhere. Every shop, every hotel sells these. These sellers of colored, sweetened water are giant multinational corporations with revenues measured in billions of dollars, bigger than combined GDP of nearly a score of the world's poorest countries. There are parallel success stories that can be told of the purveyors of cigarettes and liquor, hamburgers and fried chicken, cosmetics and fashion wear, a seemingly never ending list. You see, the total money that is earned out of these is even more bigger than the GMP, correct? Of nearly a score of the world's poorest countries. Why poorest countries? You see, the GDP of our developing countries itself is lesser than the total profit earned by selling these products. So you can just imagine at what extent we humans are consuming something that is not at all good for our survival. If God forgot the art of consuming things, literally calling ourselves developed, we are just lagging behind in the years to come. And it says there's a seemingly never ending list. The business people, most of them who become successful are these drug dealers, Coca-Cola sellers, cigarette sellers, fried chicken sellers, cosmetic sellers, fashion wear sellers. They are becoming more successful. Why? It is because the consumers are consuming today without any limit. Correct? We are calling ourselves, very developed, thinkable. But let us put some mind over these things as to why are we consuming things we really don't need, which are of short-term value, which don't serve us for more than, which are really perishable items. Why are you consuming more on them? I would like to leave you with this thought, and I would like to, answer these questions in the next class. Okay? Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you. Hare Krishna.